Hello, friends, and welcome to the Friends and Music Podcast. Today I'm sitting here with Marissa. Hi, Marissa.
Hi there.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good today. It was a good
Good.
day.
Thanks for doing this with me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think that this is so cool that you're doing this. It's so much fun to hear everybody's stories all the time.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a blast for me, and it's really good. We've talked before we started recording this, and so it's been good to catch up with you and with like everybody else that I haven't had the chance to talk to recently. So for me, it's
Yeah,
been wonderful. I really love doing this.
it's been a really long time. I was trying to think I think I've sent you like a couple dinosaur memes over the past couple of years, but that's really been about it. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's funny that you bring that up, and I'm going to come right back to that. But let me give a little introduction to you. Marissa is such an awesome, sweet person. I wanted to say girl, but I have to say person. You're a mom now. I can't just say you're a
Yeah,
girl.
I'm a
I met you
mommy.
though when you were pretty young. How old were you?
I I can't remember if I was 18 or 19, but I was a youngin. I was fresh out of high school.
Yeah, we met in school. You're another one of the Rexburg friends, and you met when basically we were in a band together. You didn't play an instrument or do anything like that, but you were a part of the band, right?
Yeah, it warms my heart so much that you say that because like I wanted to be in a band so bad, but I mean, I do play guitar kind of casually, but like not really to be in a band. And so like it was fun just to be able to pal around with you guys, go to practices and stuff. Like it was so much fun.
Yeah, you definitely made it better. You helped out a ton, whether it would be like moving gear around or selling shirts, or you were never shy to jump in and help out. So like we all appreciated that.
Well, thank you. I was certified merch babe.
And I know I've told you this 1,000 times. I'm gonna say it one more time. You were the only girlfriend that was allowed at band practice.
I remember when the first time you told me that, I was like, yeah, I guess so. But like, man, super cool. Like, love that.
There was one of them that ruined it for all of you because she just made it all about her, and we had to stop band practice. And so we all talked about the rule, and it was like everybody's in agreement. Well, except for Marissa. Marissa can come. Right? Yeah.
Except for Marissa, we want her there. That's awesome. I try to be as low maintenance as possible. I'm like, I'm just here to help and enjoy the music and not cause drama and yeah, not make it about myself, I guess.
Well, yeah. Thank you for your help with that. Thank you for being such a great friend, and again, thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So yeah, the two things I want to jump into right away is one, the dinosaur memes, which is always somebody in one of those inflatable T-Rex costumes
Hmm.
doing something ridiculous. Have you purchased one of those yet?
No, but now that you mention it, I might get one for my son.
Yeah, what would he do if he saw you?
Oh, I think he would, right now, he would probably scream in terror. But
Please get one.
TJ would absolutely love that. He would think that was so funny. I gotta do that now.
The little childhood trauma doesn't hurt anybody.
No, it's keeps him, I don't know, keeps him in line.
Poor guy. Should we talk about Tilly now, or should we talk about that other thing? Come back to Tillian.
We can come back to Tilly.
Yeah, let's come back. He can wait, little guy. So the other thing I was going to say is when you were talking about driving to and from band practice with us, uh, every time I hear the darkness, I believe in a thing called love. I think about you and TJ and Mike and all of us just screaming that song as
I
loud as
wanted you
possible.
guys to cover that song so bad. And TJ's like, I can't sing that on a stage.
It's so high
And I was
pitched.
like, but that would be so much fun. I would love that. But yeah, we listened to that song on repeat. I forgot about that.
It was
Thank
that
you for
song.
bringing that up.
Ohio is for Lovers was another one we did pretty
Mhm.
frequent. Was there any
Yeah.
more?
I remember you, you're gonna hate me for this, but every time
Yep.
that I hear you already know,
Yep.
um, Jamie all over by
Yeah.
Mayday Parade because you would just make fun of it.
It's
And
so funny.
I think of you.
Yeah, I don't like that song at all, but it's funny to make fun of, like, to sing along with, and
Mhm.
I mean, like, same thing, like Creed and Nickelback, right? Like,
Oh,
that's the category I put Jamie all over.
yeah. I don't put them in the same category, but I do think that you can sing both of them just as easily.
Just the sarcastic singing.
Yeah, it's fun to
And,
do that.
do you remember when we played the show with head injuries in Idaho Falls?
I do remember that. I remember that,
The
like, hardly anybody came to that.
Yeah, I felt so bad that they were on a tour, they band from Colorado, so the first time I saw them was at the lead singer's house, they did a little house show,
Hmm,
and he covered, I believe in a thing called Love, and he killed it. It was
what?
wonderful.
That's
Jared or Sabato,
amazing.
if you're listening and you have footage of that, I would love to share that because it was
I
such a
would
good
love to
cover.
see it. I would love to see it. That's so fantastic. I love that.
All right, so we have a lot to discuss. I mean, music, obviously,
Yeah.
you were you were part of the band. Is there any more about Rexburg, about being such a big help in the band that you want to talk about right now?
Mm, we can circle back to it. I kind of like the way that my brain works is I work kind of chronologically. So I'm like, okay,
So you want to start in
Rexburg,
the middle, go to the end, and come back to the beginning. That's what you want
right?
to do, right?
We circle back. I mean, I that's technically what we're doing right now. Like, I would like to go to the beginning at some point
All right, let's go
and
to the
maybe
beginning. Take us back. Baby
take us
Marissa,
back.
you
Baby
were
Marissa.
born a baby,
I was born a baby in
and
Pocatello,
then
Idaho in
you had a
1995.
microphone and a guitar the day you were born, right?
Yep, exactly.
Did you say Pocatello?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my dad is from Pocatello. We were actually born in the same hospital. Not there anymore, but and my mom is was from the Rexburg area, a little place called Manan that like nobody knows what that is unless you've been there. Um but yeah, I don't I wouldn't say that I came out of the womb mic in hand, but like I definitely can say that from like the beginning of my life, music has always influenced me. Like my dad was he was into 80s hair metal bands and he was actually a DJ when I was born, so he would do events and stuff, weddings and dances in Pocatello and Idaho Falls and Rexburg, and my mom was a dancer, and so like she had a lot of music from the 80s that she would dance to and stuff. And so I think that's really where like my journey with music kind of started is like my dad had these totes full of CDs that he would use for his gigs and stuff. And I would just go through each one of the CDs and pick out one that looked interesting to me and put it in my little CD case. And then I would listen to it. And in particular, I remember there was a Now CD that had just like popular music on the radio on it. And track 17 was The Girl All the Bad Guys Want by Bowling for Soup. And I
Such a good
remember
song.
listening to that track over and over and over again. And I was like, this is so cool. So I really think that that's kind of where music started with me. And, you know, as I got older, when I was 9 years old, my dad bought me a Avril Lavigne My Happy Ending CD. And I remember looking at the cover of that CD, and she's dressed in like this pop punk princess outfit. She's got a tutu and like she's just got her makeup all done. And I was like, I want to be her. She's so cool.
Yes, she is.
And she's still cool. Like she still dresses really cool. And I'm still like, man, I wish I could dress like that every day. But like there's a lot of effort that goes into those sorts of looks. And I'm just that's too much for me. But I want to do it.
All right, can I interrupt for a second?
Yes.
I think you're like the 10th person to be on the show, but I'm 100% positive you're the first person to bring up the Now, that's what I call hit CDs.
And that's so funny because I feel like everybody's I mean, everybody's a generalization, but like we all grew up with those. Are they on,
Yeah,
like, 100 now? Like, I think they still
that's what I was
make
gonna
them.
ask. Like, what number are they at? Because I
I
think I
don't
had
even know.
5 or 7 was, like, my earliest one that I have, and I still have it somewhere, so I'm gonna have to find that because
Yeah.
that's a good
Oh,
drop.
I remember I had one, I think it was Now 25. I remember there was, like, a T-Pain song on there that I used to listen to a lot.
That's awesome.
And so it's kind of funny because obviously I grew up with a lot of all of those classic bands, but it was really just their hits that I would listen to because I would have these Now
Yeah.
CDs. So when you talk about, like, I listened to, like, Green Day, but it was only, like, American Idiot and Holiday, like, and some of their other hits or and different bands like that. Like, for a while, I only ever really knew their hits because that's
That's it.
the only thing that I had access to.
It was Now and the radio.
Mhm. Exactly.
And then the other thing is when you're talking about your parents, here's what I'm picturing. Your dad listening to hair metal, so he looks like he's probably like a Poison fan, you know, like the long, curly blonde hair with like
Sure.
a flannel cut off sleeves,
Mhm.
right? So like somebody from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and then your mom being the singer and dancer. I'm picturing Cyndi Lauper. Am I close to what your parents look like?
I'm sure back in the day, probably, like, my dad had I know he had, like, curly blonde hair. I'm sure he
Yes, I
had it
was
long.
right.
Yeah, I'm sure he had it long at some point, and, like, he that was one thing. He has been to, like, some of the most amazing shows that have ever happened ever, and he said that the one that he never got to see was Genesis with Phil Collins because,
Yeah.
Phil Collins can't play drums anymore because he's old, but yeah, I think my mom would be flattered that you're picturing her as Cyndi Lauper. She honestly, like, if you meet my mom, she's a lot like me, like, dark hair, short, but she was definitely like she had the big hair and, you know, dancer with, like, the neon leggings and all that fun
See,
stuff.
neon. Cyndi
Yep.
Lauper had the bright orange hair. See,
Yeah.
I'm 2 for 2.
Yeah, you're not too far off. You're really not too far off. It would have been really fun to see my parents back in the day. They met at a dance in Shelley, Idaho.
Shelly Idaho.
Shelley, Idaho.
So this is gonna be a first for me, but I think we need to post a picture of your parents from that time, if
Yeah.
at all possible.
I'm definitely gonna have to try and find one. It's funny because my parents, they're really into Halloween, and so, like, their Halloween costumes just that's the one thing that's coming into my mind. I'm like, "Okay, pictures from them back then." I have, like, all of their Halloween costumes from growing up, like, all those pictures, but I'll have to go back and find one if I can of them, like, big '80s hair, like, all of that. That'll be fun.
Please do. I would love
Mhm,
that so much.
mhm.
All right, I interrupted you. I apologize. Please continue with
No,
your
I mean, that kinda wraps up my childhood. I mean, listening to those CDs and of course, like, I also listened to, like, the the stuff that was popular for my age group at the time, so, like, Britney Spears. I'm pretty sure "Hit Me Baby One More Time" was the first CD that I my dad ever got me, like, and gifted to me. NSYNC and Backstreet Boys and the Spice Girls and all those fun bands and stuff, like, so I think pretty early on, I had a pretty wide range of music taste and stuff that I would listen to.
I love that there's a trend of Britney Spears being one of the first CDs that people have.
She was iconic, and I mean, I think a lot of us in our age group, like, that was, like, the prime time that we were coming up and getting into music and all of that, and so, you know, she was really, really big back then.
Oh, for sure. Before shave the head. So, what's your go-to karaoke song?
That was not on the list that
Nope,
you
it wasn't.
you just shooting random questions at me and I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
prepared? What in the
welcome to
world?
my mind. We're talking about "Hit Me Baby One More Time,"
I
like,
mean,
it's
that's a
not
good karaoke song,
yeah,
definitely.
that's why I'm asking.
Oh, I wanna say Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. I know that's kind of a difficult song, or Somebody to Love by Queen. I think Queen is just, like, it's a fan favorite for karaoke because I think that if you're a little bit nervous to sing, other people at the bar or wherever you're singing will sing along with you if
Yeah,
it's a popular enough song, and Queen kinda has that appeal, so
for sure.
I think I would say Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. That'd be my go-to
Yeah, great
karaoke
answer.
song.
Good answer. Alright, so we have Britney Spears, one of the first CDs your dad got you, also
Mhm,
Avril Lavigne. I mean,
mhm.
both poppy, princesses back then, but pretty different too, so, like, did you still listen to both of those? Did you, veer off one way
Yeah,
or the other at that time?
I think as I got older, I gravitated more towards the quote unquote heavier things because I wouldn't necessarily call Avril Lavigne heavier than Britney Spears, but definitely more emotional. I think as I hit puberty, I was looking for music that was going to s- say the things that I was feeling at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Avril,
So
that was the one.
she was, she really was. I mean, I had listened to her hits, but my happy ending was the first like full record of hers that I had that I listened to back to front. And yeah, she was kind of the segue into I I don't want to say it just went downhill from there, but I mean I just slid like face first into like the stuff that I listen to now, you know?
Yeah. Well, yeah, fill in that gap or bridge it. Like, tell us
Yeah, yeah.
what
So I when I was in middle school, we moved to a place called Billings, Montana, and I'm not the biggest fan of Billings. And I feel like that's one of the things that, you know, you hate your hometown and nobody understands me. The
yeah.
alternative music scene kind of envelops that feeling of like, I don't want to be here. I want to go somewhere else. Nobody understands me, sort of thing. So Billings is a mountain town. It's the biggest city in Montana, but you would never guess it because it's probably about the size of Idaho Falls. And it's a oil refinery town and it's very country. So I was surrounded by a lot of people that listen to country music and pop music and rap music and stuff like that. But in in about the 8th grade, I would say, I met some people at church that really liked the same kind of music that I did. And so we all just kind of fell into place with one another. We'd hang out at church, we'd hang out at school, and like it was kind of this wildfire that would spread where we would be like, "Oh, have you heard of this band? Oh, yeah, I have. Have you heard of this band? Oh, yeah, you heard of this band?" And so it was really fun to find like a group of kids that felt the same way that I did and like to listen to s- music that wasn't necessarily popular at the time with the mainstream.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of how I got music at that time. Like I had so many I went through so many different little MP3 players and like we would all just exchange music with little like flash drives. So I would get a flash drive or like a mix CD or something like that and take it home and I would download it onto my computer and I would spend hours finding like the album art and renaming all of the tracks so that I could put it on my MP3 player and
Yeah.
it would be all nice and organized and stuff, and I don't think kids know how good they have it these days. I
Yeah.
get on Spotify and I'm just like, "Man, I remember being in the trenches."
Well, I wanna go back to Billings, with your love. and passion for Billings that you had. Once you started talking about it, in my head, I just started hearing A Day to Remember. Am I correct in the same
You
kind of vibes?
correct. You're absolutely correct. I that was one of the very first bands that I kind of gravitated towards because like their lyrics were just I could just relate to them so much. Like I hate this town. It's so how does it go
Washed
again?
up.
Washed up. And all my friends don't
If you're
give a
gonna
fuck.
sing it around your mom, you'd say, "They love my truck." That's what I would say around my
Yeah,
mom.
that's yeah. Sorry, Dad. I don't mean to curse. I know
But
you
you
don't like
did.
that word, but I did. Um, but yeah, so that was A Day to Remember was like one of the first bands that one of my friends had given to me on a thumb drive. And I just like fell in love with them. And yeah, I just to this day, Homesick is like my number one favorite album of all time. And I hesitate to say that because, you know, there's so many other albums that I've liked since then, but like that one in particular and their subsequent record, I don't remember the name of it now that I'm on the spot. It'll
Is it
come to
old
me.
record? Is that what you're talking about?
It's not Old Record. It's the one after Homesick. Because Old Record was before Homesick. Um, if it means a lot to you, no, that's the song name.
Yep.
um, it'll come to me. But anyway, Homesick was and still is like a record that I'll put on when I'm just feeling upset at everything. And yeah, it was it was really fun to kind of go through all of those different bands and find niche bands at the time. And there was actually so we were what middle school, maybe freshmen. We were young kids, and the kids that we went to church with that were a couple of grades ahead of us, they were like the cool kids. They would tell us which bands were cool and which bands weren't cool. So I would find a band on my own, like Sleeping with Sirens or Pierce the Veil, and they'd be like, no, that's too poppy. That's not cool. And I'd be like, okay. And I would like listen to them in secret and pretend not to like them and stuff. And
That's so funny.
I know.
Usually you hide that music from your parents, not from your older friends.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that too, because so when I got my driver's license, I drove a 2000 Jeep Cherokee. And my boyfriend and I at the time went to Hastings. Remember Hastings? Loved Hastings. It was like Barnes and Noble, but there were records and music and
Yeah.
everything. Loved Hastings. So we went to Hastings and the I bought two CDs. I bought um Deja N2
I
and
don't know if anybody ever can say that without like trying to say it 15 times.
I
Come
know,
on,
like
brand new. What are you doing to us?
I know. So I bought that one, and then I also
The
bought
Dija.
right, I'm like, I don't know, the one with the astronaut on it.
Yeah,
Um, I bought
the
that,
astronaut
and
album.
I bought, X Lives by Every Time I Die, and I really liked the brand new record. I would listen to that quite frequently, but I don't know, Every Time I Die just didn't hit the same for me, but I
Okay.
remember one time in particular I had that X Live CD in my CD player, and my mom borrowed my car to go to the grocery store or something.
Uh-oh.
And the first track on that record says scream, obviously, they're screaming, I want to be dead with my friends. And he says it like four times. And I remember coming home from school or wherever I was at, and it was the classic, like, my parents had the CD sitting on the coffee table. They were both sitting on the couch waiting for me, and they're like, "We don't think that you should be listening to this." And I was like, I blamed it on my boyfriend. I'm like, "It's not my CD, it's his. I'll give
It's
it
not
back
mine,
to
I
him."
swear.
And what's funny is, like, I didn't even really like that record, like, I didn't even that wasn't I didn't really like that, so it was just like, "Okay, sorry, won't do that again." But, I mean, I didn't really obviously, like, you grow up as a Mormon kid, and people are like, "Oh, what sort of music are you listening to?" And you're like, "Oh, okay, yeah, let me show you," and you show them, and they're like, "Oh, that's screamo, like, that's terrible, I don't wanna listen to that," and it's like, you felt like you were kind of in this secret club where, like, you were listening to music that nobody really liked or nobody really knew, and you're just like, "Yeah, you don't understand the music that I do." And I mean, to a certain degree, I still feel that way. Like when people tell me like, "Oh, I could never listen to that because there's screams in it." I'm like, then I think you're missing the point entirely about listening to music. It's for me, it's not the way that it sounds necessarily, it's the way that it makes you feel.
Ooh, I love that.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, honestly, I really do like that because I mean, that's exactly how I feel about some music. I mean, I've talked about before how sometimes I miss lyrics of songs entirely. But yeah, it's not about what they're saying. It's, either how they're saying it or how the band gets together and creates these sounds that just speak to you.
Mhm. And it's nice being able to share those experiences with other people. And I think that's why in high school we had such a tight-knit group because we all felt the same about being stuck in some dead end town that, none of us wanted to be there and struggling with, you know, puberty and all the feelings that are associated with that. But it was fun because if you know Billings is, as I've said, a country town, and nobody comes for concerts ever. I remember just
So sad.
wishing upon a star that somebody that I wanted to see would come and play there. But
Yeah.
there's just not a market for it there. Like it's mostly country and pop artists and like bands just couldn't make a living driving all the way out there and playing shows. Like we had at the little arena, we can even call it that, um, that would
The
come.
fairgrounds?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it is an arena. It is like a stadium.
Okay.
And but the only bands that would consistently come there that were even in the same sphere of music were like Five Finger Death Punch, Tech Nine, and Hollywood Undead. Like those are the ones that I remember growing up consistently would come. And of course my mom wouldn't let me go to those concerts because like those are concerts where you're like getting your teeth punched out in. Like they're not a place for like a 14-year-old girl to go.
All right. So, I mean, like, if you couldn't go to concerts, they weren't around, which, judging your mom, your Cyndi Lauper mom, Five Finger Death Punch, just from the name of it, she wouldn't let you go. Like, that's obvious. Like,
Exactly.
don't even
Exactly.
ask. I remember when the movie Triple X with Vin Diesel came out. Or not Vin
Mhm.
Diesel. What's his name? Is that his real name? Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, that's his name.
Um, um, I was like, Mom, I want to go see that new Triple X movie. And she's like, No. Like, just so fast said no. And I was like, Why no? She's like, Is that what it's rated? And I said, No, that's what it's called.
Oh my
She's like, You can't see
god.
an X rated movie. Like 15 at the time.
Yeah, it's so funny. I was about the same age. I think I was either 14 or 15. And all of my friends wanted to drive to Seattle to go to
Okay.
Warped Tour because the only, you drive 9 hours to Seattle, 9 hours to Denver, or 9 hours to Salt Lake. Like those were the options. And I was like, please, mom, please let me go. And she would not let me go.
Yeah.
And it makes total sense now because I was like 14, 15. I was going to be the only girl that was going, and we were going
Yeah.
to sleep on somebody's floor of their garage. gonna sleep in like a tent or something. I don't know. It was something absolutely ridiculous. And like, of course, as a 14, 15-year-old, I'm like, absolutely. That sounds
Yeah.
like a blast. But like now that I'm a parent, I'm like, that's a good way to get kidnapped and murdered and like I'll never see you again. So
Yeah.
I have a lot of I understand. Mom, I understand why you wouldn't let me
But
go.
it's funny how, like, your experience to wanna go see bands was, like, acting like a band, cramming in a car, sleeping on someone's floor. Like, that's how the band members do it.
That's that just comes with the territory, you know? Like that's where the adventure is.
Yeah. That's really
But
hard, though, that it's 9 hours away for any big city near you. That's far.
yeah, that's the biggest thing. It's like Montana is just stuck way up north and like it was hard to we'd be like, "Oh yeah, we could go to Salt Lake. Like we have family in Salt Lake." Like speaking of that, that reminds me when it was about 2009. There was one of my friends, her dad was really into like his favorite band was Nightwish. Love Nightwish. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're symphonic metal.
Okay.
Fantastic. Look them up if you've never heard of them because they're amazing. But anyway, so he was into metal music. And at the time, his daughter and I would listen to Paramore's Riot album. We were listening to that constantly. And they were doing a show in Salt Lake with No Doubt.
Oh my
And
goodness.
he's like, "Hey, do you want to come with us to the
Yes,
show?" And
yes, I wanna come.
I'm like, "Do I want to go? Like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? Like, this is amazing." And so yeah, we went and we stayed with they had some family down there, so we stayed with them and yeah, we got to see Paramore, got to see the Riot album, and they opened up for No Doubt.
Okay, so let me make sure I get this straight. You had a really big buildup of everywhere is far away, it's 9 hours away. I wanted to go to Warped Tour, I couldn't go to Warped Tour. So you're saying your first concert was Paramore and No Doubt?
No, my
Oh,
first
man.
concert my first concert was actually I was 12 and it was in this event center in Billings. It was Weird Al Yankovic. You can believe it.
That's so much better though than it being would you say Hollywood Undead was one of your options?
Yeah, and yeah,
That's
it
wild that it
was
was Weird Al. Okay, well,
well,
I wanna know about both of them, Weird Al and
okay.
Paramore.
Well, Weird Al was just fantastic. I It was so long ago, you know, I was 12. I don't remember a whole lot of it, but I do remember just having an absolute blast. We went with my friend's dad and, you know, he was probably a, you know, really familiar with his catalog and whatnot. And like before we had gone to the show, like my friends and I really had started getting into his music. And so we would know the songs and it was so much fun. He is such a great performer. And, you know, he's got the costumes and the set designs and everything. So like that was a fantastic first concert to ever go to. And then Paramore was great. Again, we went with somebody's dad, which honestly is the only reason why my mom let me go. Is because
Yeah.
we were going with a parent, you know,
Well, good
which
thing
is
they went.
yeah, because I don't think I really understood the gravity of like I was there for Paramore. I wasn't there for No Doubt, but like now that I'm older, I'm like, holy crap, I saw No Doubt. Like they're a classic band. Like they're all extremely talented. Gwen Stefani's phenomenal. Like they had really, really good showmanship. And like we sang to Gwen Stefani's child for their birthday. Like it was so
That's so
much
cool.
fun. But like we were really there for Paramore. And with Paramore was one of my top 5 bands at the time and what was for a really long time. And so it was really cool being able to see them live and like I can say that I saw the Riot album in its prime, you know.
Okay, you don't have to brag.
Okay.
I know you know that's like one of my if I could go back in time and see a concert, it would be I mean, especially with No Doubt, like I didn't know that was an option. I didn't know they played shows together. I'm very
Yeah,
jealous.
like I said, it was like 2009 and I'm not entirely sure what year the Riot album came out, but I know that Paramore was still up and coming. It would have been at the time that they were still just playing more Warped Tours than they were anything else.
That's amazing.
Well, and speaking of concerts, there was one time in particular that somebody from the quote unquote scene came to Billings. It was We Came as Romans and Miss
Nice.
May I and some other third band. I wasn't really into Miss May I, but I was really into We Came as Romans. And man, did we show up for that show. Like we all dressed up in our band t-shirts. We all did our hair and our makeup and like we went wild at that
That's
show
awesome.
because like we were just so starved for something like that that I have absolutely no idea why they stopped in Billings. Like maybe they knew somebody or something, but
Yeah.
like
They lost a
we
bet.
we were gonna take it. Like we're
Yeah.
like absolutely, let's go. But it it reminds me of so way back in the day. I remember seeing something where somebody was like, I was a beige emo growing up. And I was like, I relate to that so much because my parents wouldn't let me dye my hair. They wouldn't let me
Yeah.
wear lots of makeup or like all black clothing. Or my mom's big thing was that she didn't let me wear skulls. She didn't want me wearing skulls. But every so often, I would wake up early and dress the way that I wanted to and put on the band tee that I wanted to wear and fluff up my hair and do my makeup. And I wanted so bad to be one of those like MySpace scene girls.
That's exactly what I'm picturing. That's so
I
funny.
wanted that so bad. And it's funny that we mentioned that because during the pandemic, obviously we're all shut in, we don't have anything to do. I was like, you know what? I'm an adult with adult money. I'm going to dress the way that I wish my 15-year-old self wishes that she could have dressed. And I did. And I took pictures. I got a purple wig and I cut it in that crazy, you know,
Yeah.
short on the top, long on the bottom. Like I did the makeup really dark. I wore all the bracelets and I was like, well, I can't go anywhere. So I guess I'm going to just take some pictures and put it on Instagram. So that's what I did. And I think that really fulfilled something in me.
I can't wait till we share those. And also, I have a dare for you. I dare you to do that again and do the classic bathroom selfie, with like the RAR post underneath it. But you have to get TJ to do it with you and get his
Oh,
hair like in his eye. I dare you.
I don't know if he would be down for that, but I can try.
You can always just use Tillian. He has no say. You can just make him do it. Put a
It's
little
so
wig on
funny.
him.
He like his hair was in his face for the longest time because I was so afraid to cut it. And TJ's like, he's a little emo baby. He's got his
Yeah,
little emo swoop. It was
little emo
great.
baby.
Little emo baby. But yeah, crazy times being a teenager that doesn't want to be in a dead end town. I think so we went to the We Came as Roman show and it was
Yeah,
amazing. And I had friends that were in bands that would do shows here and there. Like I remember in particular there was like this battle of the bands that happened at this bar called the Rail Yard. If you know, you know. And there was no way my mom was gonna let me go to a bar to see screamo music. And so I lied just a little bit. Sorry, Dad. And I
true
said,
confessions time.
I know it's all coming out, right? But I lied and said that it was Christian metal and that they were going to be playing in somebody's garage. And so I was going over with all of my friends to somebody's garage and they were going to play Christian metal music. I'm sorry, it was never Christian metal music. And it wasn't at a garage, it was at a bar, and I had to wash the X's off my hands before I went home so that my parents didn't know. But yeah,
I
good
just wrote
times.
down it was never Christian metal music because that might be your episode title.
Yeah, there were I think particularly after the X Lives incident, my parents were a little bit more weary about the music I was listening to. For my 15th birthday party, we had like a backyard barbecue, and I had the uncensored version of Don't Trust Me on my MP3 player. And I remember we were all out hanging out, and that line, and I'm a vegetarian. Yes, we all know it. But anyway, it came
I was
on.
waiting.
I can't think of it right now. I'd have to sing the whole song and get to that point. And I'm a vegetarian and I ain't fucking scared of him.
There it is.
There it is.
She can't touch me. Ooh.
I remember my dad was like grilling us hot dogs and he just goes, "What was that?"
Makes
And
it
I
better
was
than
so
us grilling hot
embarrassed.
dogs.
I was so embarrassed. I was like, "Sorry." And he's just like, "Turn that off." And I'm like, "Okay." In front of all of my friends. And I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna be so lame. They're gonna think I'm so lame." It
Now,
was
instead
fine.
of picturing Bill and Ted for your dad, I'm picturing Hank Hill. Damn it, Bobby. Turn that off.
I think as he got older, he kind of personified that a little bit.
Does he sell propane? Please tell me he sells propane.
He does not sell propane. He's an
Dang it.
engineer.
Dang it. Does he engineer things that use propane?
I'm sure. I'm sure he's
Ah,
bought
perfect. Okay,
propane.
good. Close enough. I'll count it.
Yeah.
He's purchased propane. Close enough.
Right? Oh man, but
That makes you Bobby. Hope you know that.
that's not
Give
my
me back my
purse.
purse.
I don't know you. Yeah, so I mean that kind of wraps up the high school experience, I'd say. And then I moved to Rexburg because, my family was from there. It was kind of like my mom had gone there for college and I had so much friends and family out that way. It kind of was like a no-brainer for me
This is where
about
I come in.
this is where you come in. Yes.
Yes.
I yeah, so I moved to Rexburg and then I met TJ on not Twitter, on Tinder. I met him on Tinder. And one of the
Aw.
things that was like we were able to speak so easily about was music. We had like almost identical musical tastes. And I remember the first time I ever went over to his house, I I had broken up with my boyfriend at the time and had gone on a mission. And so Dance Gavin Dance had um acceptance speech that had just come out. And they were one of my favorite bands in high school. And I had nobody to talk to about this record at the time. And I remember when I walked into his apartment, he had it playing. And at that moment, I was like,
Marry me.
I'm I'm smitten. He has my whole heart. And like we immediately just started talking about it. And because Tillian, their vocalist, that was the first record that he was on. And so Johnny Craig was on the record before that. And so they're like, "Oh, do you like Tillian? Yeah, he's really cool." I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's really awesome. I really like him too." So yeah, we just kind of hit it off from there. And then he joined a band, and that's where you come in.
Okay, that's where I come in. Yay.
That's
I'm
where you come in.
involved. I
Yeah,
can
I
talk
remember
now.
one of the first band practices that I went to. I don't know if it was your first band practice, but it was at the lounge of the apartment complex that TJ was living in at the time.
Yeah.
And I was there was there was another girl there that was pining after TJ that I just could not stand being there.
How did she get invited?
I think she just showed up.
Dang, that girl. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Joke's
But
on her. You won.
right. No. But it really was just from there, I met more people. I met you. I met Mike because TJ worked with Mike, and obviously Carlton because he was in the band too. And I was like, this is amazing. I have found my people. Like, and that was
Yeah.
something that I was so desperate to find, because I was a kid out on my own, finally got out of Billings, and I had found other pop punk kids that liked the same music that I did, and I just, like, held on to that, and I gravitated towards that, and anytime you guys wanted to have band practice or go to a show or something, like, I was there. I was living out my dream. I think all of the buildup from being a teenager and never getting to go to Warped Tour or getting to go to shows or anything like that, like, it was just it was a dream come true for me, honestly, to just hang out with you guys and go to shows and stuff.
This is why I love that I get to do this because I'm learning new things about you. One, I'm gonna make fun of you. I didn't know you guys met on Tinder. Nerds. That's so
Right?
funny. Good for
Right?
you guys though, for real. That's awesome. And then hearing the Dance Gavin Dance story, I kind of always assumed that was like one sided because like I knew TJ's taste in music, I think more at that time. So I don't know if now's the time where we talk about your son for a minute,
We
but
can.
it's pretty
Um,
obvious where the name came from.
so my son's name is Tillian, and we named him after the former lead singer of Dance Gavin Dance.
Yeah, but from your first date, like how cute is that? Something
Yeah,
that you guys have bonded over. Like that's
and
adorable.
and music has always been something that TJ and I have bonded over, and I think that's what makes us so close is that we both have a mutual understanding of how music makes us feel, and we can share that with each other. Like one of the first dates that we had after we become official boyfriend girlfriend, we I remember we stayed up all night. We were laying on his
Hey,
blow
be
up
careful. My
twin
mom listens to this.
mattress.
Easy, easy. Just kidding. Go on.
So he had a blow up twin mattress on the floor of his apartment. And we just had our phones out and we showed each other, like, oh, do you remember this band? Oh, do you remember this band? Like, oh, this is one of my favorites. I love this song. And we were just singing to the songs. And before we knew it, like the sun was up. And so we were just like, from the beginning, it was really like how him and I connected. With Dance Gavin Dance in particular, until somewhat recently, it's been our favorite band that we would listen to every single record together. Like when their record Instant Gratification came out, TJ and I went to that Taco Bell that was in Rexburg, and we parked his little junk car in the parking lot. I got my classic order. I got a steak quesarito and a strawberry starburst freeze. That was my order at the time. I got that more times than I could count. And and we just laid the seats back and we listened to that record over and over and over and over again. It we just did that with every subsequent record, and it was just something that we bonded over and bonded over for years. And so it really was no contest what we were going to name our son. And it's not necessarily because I worship the dude. Like he's definitely gone through some ups and downs in the music scene. Like you can't be an alcoholic and do drugs and, you know, be a super cool guy. Like or maybe you can. I don't know. But
Yeah, but still, it's a
we
cool, unique name, and like it's got a lot of meaning. And I love
exactly. Yeah,
your
we both
Taco Bell
really
story.
yeah, Taco
I
Bell.
love, I love the other story about laying on the inflatable mattress. Like, what a college story right there. Like,
I'm pretty sure like the bed, quote unquote, that he got after that was like a futon that was like those bars. And then it was
oh my gosh, how
like a
uncomfortable.
so uncomfortable. Oh my gosh. I was like, this is awful. This is
Meanwhile,
terrible.
I was in the other room and just the mattress on the floor.
Yeah, but that was great too. Like you had like a king size mattress. Your room was all bed.
That's all it was for a bed dresser. And yeah, that was it. That was really it.
And you guys had that awful, ugly couch that you got from the
Whoa,
DI.
whoa, no, no. I got that from work. The
You
the
got that from
floral
work.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, the floor one I got from work. My
That's
boss
straight
never
up.
gave me the raise that I wanted, but he's like,
You
my
can have
grandma
this
died.
couch.
Yeah, I got some
Oh,
couches, bro.
no.
And I said, I will take those
No,
because the other
but, like
couches we found. Mike and I found the first couches.
oh my gosh.
Yeah, so
I'm learning all of this now.
yeah, the dead grandma couches were definitely a step up.
It
It was
was
actually a really
definitely
comfortable couch. It was
it was.
ugly.
It was.
It's very comfy though.
You guys definitely had that apartment that was like a boy's apartment. You had like mismatched furniture. The TV was on the floor for a while.
Yeah,
Like there was a camp chair in the living room at some
yeah.
point. Like just everything that you could think of is like typical boys' college apartment.
I don't see what the issue is because you're pretty much describing my house now.
Oh man, do I need to get you some IKEA furniture and help you out, decorate,
No, I'm good.
get you some stuff?
I work at a landfill. I just keep bringing stuff home as I
Oh
find it.
my gosh. Yeah, but yeah, I have a lot of really fun memories from that time.
Okay, so I derailed you because I wanted to talk about Tillian because learning where that name comes from is very exciting for me. You talked about being part of the music group and then like finally fulfilling going to concerts, which
Mhm.
is of course there's one concert story I want to talk about. But is there any that you want to talk about first?
Well, I think we have the same story in mind. So, way back in the day, 'cause it's been what? Like, it's been like 10 years. We
Oh yeah,
would
at least.
wake up, go to class, and then get out of class at like 3 p.m. And then we would drive to a show in Salt Lake. That was like 3 or 4 hours.
So wait, you said wake up, go to class, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I forgot that step. I didn't go to class. Sorry. Next step. Anyways.
Okay, you slept in. Sorry. Um, I would go to class, and then
Nerd.
after we got done with class, we'd drive to a show in Salt Lake, and then we would drive home after the show, and then go to bed. And I mean, I would wake up and go to class the next day, but whether or not you did, your own prerogative.
I went most of the time.
But what's crazy is like I think about that now, and I'm like, if I tried to do that now, I think it would kill me. I think I would
Yeah.
die. Like, I can't imagine waking up at like 6 in the morning and going to school, then driving, singing my heart out at a concert, and driving home, and then waking up the next day, getting like 4 hours of sleep and doing it all over again. But anyway, so one of the first shows I went to Salt Lake with you guys was Story So Far, 4 Years Strong, Terror.
Yeah, this is the story.
There might have been a fourth band there, but I don't remember. So TJ at the time had I think it was a Honda Accord.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
like
like
an early 90s, like a 92
early 90s
green.
green Honda Accord. His name was Quasi, and he had like these really cool Aztec print seat covers. Man, he was great. But anyway, he was a bit of a clunker. So
To say the
we,
least.
to say the least, he had some issues, and
Don't we
we,
all?
but we all piled in. I think it was you, me, TJ, and Mike. We piled in to go to this show, and we probably got about 3/4 of the way there, and his car just started to completely overheat. And we pull over to the side of the road, pop the hood, and he has completely blown a head gasket. Like there's no saving it at this point. And so we're like, well, we still gotta go to the show. I mean, we're almost there.
Obviously, we gotta make it.
So I think we went to a gas station, got some engine coolant, poured it in there, and then that last little fourth of a stretch, we would just drive until it got too hot, and then we would stop, and drive until it got too hot, and then we would stop. We eventually made it. I think that was at the complex. I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, the big room at the complex.
Is that
And
complex for sure? Yeah.
yeah, and we're like, okay, we're gonna go to the show, and I guess we'll deal with the car later. So we go to the show, and notably about that show, I had never, you know, the shows I had been to up until that point was like Paramore. The We Came as Roman show, but it was in like a basement. And then Weird Al, So those were the shows that I had under my belt at the time. And I was completely unprepared for terror. Because like they're like a hardcore dad band. They all come out in like these Raiders jerseys and they're just like screaming. There's like no clean vocals whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure had you guys not been there to make a little barricade around me, I probably would have perished. Like
Story
I
would have ended
had
right there.
exactly, like, I thankfully had you guys to, like, push all these people off me because I was like, "Holy crap," like, I'm 5 foot nothing. I'm right at elbow height. So, people throwing elbows, that's right in, like, in between my eyes. So, we saw the show, and it was amazing. I had so much fun seeing these like, I had listened to 4 Years Strong in high school. They were one of my favorites. I had their Enemy album, the yellow one.
Enema of the world.
Yes. Enema? It's Enema?
No.
It's Enemy of the world,
Yeah.
right? I was like, "Wait a minute." But, yeah, I had that one, and I listened to that one all the time, and so, like, hearing those songs live was really cool, and so, yeah, we had fun, and then we get back out to the car, and
Back to
I
the
think we
stressful situation.
I think we foolishly thought, like, "Oh, it's cooled down enough. I think we'll be
It'll be
okay."
fine. Engines fix themselves, right?
Right? Like, it's cooled down, we're okay. So we put some coolant in it. I think we got to about Ogden, and it was doing the same thing, and we stopped at a gas station, and I swear to you, I remember it being a homeless man. I remember a homeless man telling you guys, "I know what you need to do. Just take zip ties and duct tape, and just do a layer of duct tape, zip tie, layer of duct tape, zip tie, and that'll get you home." So, like, you guys are out there trying to fix TJ's
Duct taping
car,
away.
duct taping away with this homeless man, and then what follows is such an adventure because we ended up having to drive, like, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes at a time, if that, maybe 15 minutes at a time, and we played
Just
this game of, like, musical chairs because it was the middle of the night, and you would drive, and TJ would drive, and Mike would drive, and I was on cloud 9 because 'cause I'm like, I get to talk to my friends and, like, have this really cool story," and meanwhile, TJ's like, "I just wanna get home."
Yeah.
It was probably a lot more stressful for you guys than it was for me.
Yeah, I think what I remember is so I still remember that first exit where we got off the first time, like, it really, like, temperature rose, engines having issues. And when
Mhm.
I'm in Utah and I drive past that exit, I think about that every single time I drive by that
Every
exit.
single time I pass by that exit, that's what I think of.
Uh-huh.
I
And then
remember this is so funny. This just came to me. I remember we had pulled off to the side of the road, and Mike was, like, kicking rocks and, like, getting rocks in his shoes, and he was just, like, going in a circle kicking these rocks.
we're trying
While
to
we
figure out the
tried to
car, and Mike's just like, "I got rocks, guys.
get
You
rocks.
wanna see the rocks I found?"
Yeah, exactly.
So I think
Oh,
it was
man.
before the show we went into probably like a Walmart, maybe a car parts store, but I think it was Walmart, and we got like one of those head gasket, liquid head gasket fix things, and so we
Oh,
we
okay.
ran that through, and then I think I forgot about the duct tape and zip ties, but I think what happened was because we kept taking the radiator cap off, I think we lost the cap as we were like putting coolant in
That makes
there,
sense.
and so I completely forgot about that until you were talking about the guy telling us with duct tape. I think we duct taped and zip tied a cap because yeah, this at that point, what it's after 1, so it's like 2, 3 in the morning. So we can't just
Mhm.
go to a parts store and get something. So we're like, we got to
Yeah.
get back. I don't know why. Why were we so stressed to get back for just class? Who cares? We could have missed class.
I know, now I look back on it and I'm like, "Yeah, I coulda missed class."
But yeah, that night in particular, I remember we got back as the sun was coming up, and I
I
just,
have a Snapchat,
do
like, cause
you?
I Snapchatted that. I mean, I didn't I thought about sending that to you when I was going through my pictures, but I didn't because it's a grainy picture, like a
Yeah.
grainy 2016 Snapchat picture of like a sunrise, and it's like, finally made it, guys.
Yeah, that's so cool you have that. 'Cause
But I
yeah,
do have that.
I got back, I showered, and I went to class, like, there was no sleep that night at
Oh,
all.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that I had stupidly signed up for, like, Biology 101 at, like, 7:30. So, like, we got home at 5:30, and then I went to my biology class, and I'm pretty sure I fell asleep during it, and I
Yeah,
probably got called out for it, but,
yeah,
like, I was like, "I don't care,
worth
it's
it.
fine. Do it for the plot," as people say nowadays.
Yeah, that was a fun
Yeah,
show, and yeah, for whatever reason, I had early classes too. I think it was just so I could work after class and do band practice and
yeah,
stuff, but that was dumb. Too
yeah.
early. Still worth it though. Such a fun night, such a fun
So
show, fun
so much fun.
experience. Did we
So
have
much
In-N-Out that
fun.
night? We had to have In-N-Out, right? Did we?
I don't know if we stopped that night, honestly, like, we did every other
Maybe we
time.
didn't. Yeah, maybe we didn't eat because of trying to deal with the car.
I remember one time in particular, we were going to a knuckle puck show, and it was at that teeny tiny venue, the l I
In
wanna
Salt
say the
Lake?
loading deck. Yeah,
I think it was in the venue
in the
is what it
venue.
was called. I
I would
think
get
so.
those 2 mixed up, the loading dock and in the venue, because they were both really small, but
I think they
it
changed
was
because it's in Utah. I think they changed the loading dock to just called docking now.
okay.
Yeah.
I had
So
somebody ask me about that, and I'm like, "What a weird
that's a normal
thing."
conversation. Yeah. So
Yeah, this is
anyways, In and
yeah.
Out, Knuckle Puck.
Yeah, so normally, I remember when we would go to shows, we would usually go after the show, like on our way home, because it was on the way going back home. But for whatever reason, we went to In and Out before we went to this Knuckle Puck show. And I got animal style fries. Stupid decision to get animal style fries before a concert at a venue that probably didn't have AC. But I remember, like, jumping
Or
around,
running
having a good
water.
time, and then all of the sudden, I'm like, "Oh, no, it's coming back up." I go in the bathroom and I throw up. I'm, like, throwing up animal style fries, like, I learned my lesson not to have In-N-Out before a concert. It's always gotta be after a
No,
concert.
that's not the lesson. Still have In and Out.
That's the well,
Just
no,
don't be a
still
baby about it.
still have In-N-Out, but, like, I'm pretty sure you got sick too. I think we all did. I think
I
we
do
were
remember
all
that night
not
feeling like,
feeling
whoa.
good. Yeah, but man, I haven't had In-N-Out in a while. I don't
That was like the bummer about the few times we went to Boise for shows when we were up at school. Was at that time Boise didn't have In and Out, so it wasn't we
yeah.
wouldn't get In and Out. But I remember I don't care what concert I was going to in Salt Lake or who was driving, the whole drive down there, we're stopping for In and Out, right? You know where the In and Out exit is, right? We're gonna stop, right?
Oh my gosh. And it's funny because 'cause you've had people on your podcast, I can't remember who in particular, but I remember them saying that, like, Denny's was the place that they would go, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Why didn't we ever go to Denny's?" But In-N-Out's just so classic, and it's on the way, and we all love it, so it's like
so good.
we would
And it's
always I
faster.
remember we would see people that were doing the same things that we were. Like, we'd go to In-N-Out, and there were just a bunch of these punk kids in and out at, like, midnight. So funny.
Yeah, In and Out was faster, especially because with our 3.5, 4 hour drive, we don't got
Yeah.
time to sit at Denny's. We don't got time to sit there and
Yeah,
order.
you're right, you're right.
In and out, in and out, go back home. Boom.
In and out and go home.
So yeah, is there any more concerts from that time you want to
Well,
discuss? Yeah, see, I figured you had one. I knew it.
I went to my first Warped Tour with you guys in
Aw.
2016, and I don't know if you remember, but, I
Oh, I
mean,
remember.
I was completely ecstatic to be there,
Drunk.
and
Oh, uh-huh.
it's funny because you guys you guys were like I remember you and TJ specifically were just kinda stomping around like, "It's not like how it used to be," and the whole time
I
I
was
was
already like that
thinking
back then.
you were, you definitely were, and,
I'm
like,
much
the
worse
whole
now.
time I was thinking like, "Shut up, this is the first experience of this that I have," just because I didn't grow up TJ grew up in Cleveland, so, like, he got to see, like, a Day to Remember's Homesick album in like a 300 cat venue. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, just because you got to live out my dream does not mean that you get to take this away from me. So yeah, I don't know. Do you remember? Because I looked this up ahead of time. Do you remember the bands that played that Warp Tour?
I have a list somewhere, but off the top of my head, I remember Like Pacific, Real Friends, Knuckle Puck, 4 Years Strong, Sum 41.
Mhm.
Is there something specific you're looking for?
Well, so I remember it was it was fun because it was like kind of like some of the old throwback bands and then also like the bands that we were currently listening to at the time.
Yeah.
So like you'd mentioned Story So Far, Knuckle Puck, 4 Years Strong. Um, but I had completely forgot that Newfound Glory was there and Sum 41, Less Than Jake, Real Big
Less Than
Fish.
Jake. Masked Intruder was another one that we saw.
Mhm. I wanna say the Aquabats was there, but I can't I'm not for sure about that. That might have been the next year's Warped Tour.
Okay.
But then Mayday Parade was there, which I'm sure you were first in line for. I
I
think I
believe,
forced
yeah, you're right.
TJ I think I forced TJ to go to that one with me.
Ah, sucker.
And then also State Champs and the Wonder Years were also there that year.
What a great lineup.
I know. It was great. And I remember feeling like, man, there's it's not as good, I guess, like but I had a phenomenal time. I remember I don't think we drank any water that day.
Nope. You're not allowed
We
to at Warped Tour.
sat we sat by I have a picture of you and TJ sitting by the Monster Energy tent, and I'm pretty sure we obviously drank some monsters there.
Yep. That's all you can drink while you're there. They're free.
Yeah, and I remember at the very end of the day, the very last band was Sleeping with Sirens, which was a band that I had liked in high school that was totally uncool. And
You know, that
TJ
your
was just
friends
like,
didn't let you
"Oh,"
listen to.
TJ's like, "I don't wanna go to them." I'm like, "Please just let me." We get over there and it's just packed. And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Okay, I don't need to see this band, it's okay." I didn't like them that much. But, that reminds me of speaking of, like, other shows around that time, I had went to LA for the first time ever, and, Montana girl, Idaho girl, going to LA like it's a big deal. And I had taken the Salt Lake Express from Rexburg to Vegas because it
Okay.
didn't run all the way to LA. And then our friend Matt Ingram, picked me up in the middle of the night.
What a good guy.
I know. Shout out, Matt. You're great. I love
Yeah, he's
you.
the best.
But he picked me up and took me to his house. And um, coincidentally, Tyler Price was also there. And like we were all just kind of hanging out. And Matt had to work a lot of the time. And so me and Tyler, we were friends. I saw him at band practice, but like we weren't necessarily friends outside. We didn't hang out outside of like band practice and concerts and stuff, and so it was just like an unlikely duo, and man, did we have a good time. We went and saw it was this pop-up show. It was Knuckle Puck and Moose Blood in a 300 cat venue, but I bet you there were 500 people in that in
Yeah.
that show
Packed it in, huh?
because it was in Santa Ana, so just outside of LA, and we're like, "Of course we have to go." And I remember being in that push pit and it was body to body. Like that was the one and only time that I've actually felt like my life is in danger at a concert because it was just so tight. And I remember thinking, I was like, if I die here, it'll be okay. I'll be okay. I'll be going out doing what I love.
Die happy. So
I'll die
poetic.
happy. Okay, I have to tell you a story that I don't think you know about that time that
Oh, I
pertains to it.
know.
It's not
Okay,
about
tell me.
music, but
Let's hear it.
it's really funny. So I wanted to fulfill my pop punk dream of riding my longboard on the Santa Monica Pier and like
Nice.
riding it along the beach. But really, Tyler and I only had 1 day to do all the California stuff, and so, like, we drove to Hollywood in the morning, and then we just kinda dinked around, and then we didn't get to Santa Ana until or Santa Monica, Santa Monica. We didn't get to Santa Monica until sun had gone down, and I remember I had to go to the bathroom really bad, and I was like, "I'm not going to go to the bathroom, in the beach bathrooms because there's homeless people that do drugs in those bathrooms." So, I had wandered there was a hotel on the water, and I was like, "I bet they have a bathroom, like, maybe they have one in the lobby or something that I can use." And I looked like a bum. I was wearing, like, Tyler's way too big for me sweatshirt, and I walk in there, and I'm dressed with a like a punk kid, I'm wearing skinny jeans and Converse or whatever, Vans, probably Vans, but I walk in and, like, I don't know why nobody stopped me, but, like, I walk in and there's just, like, people in really fancy outfits. Like, it's like a black tie event, and I just ask somebody, I'm like, "Is there a bathroom I could use?" And they point down the hallway. I go down the hallway, I walk in the bathroom, and it's, like, the most immaculate bathroom I've ever seen. There was a bathroom attendant. I'm like, "I really think someone should have stopped me," but they haven't. And I go to the bathroom, and the bathroom attendant, like, holds out their hand, and I'm like, because 'cause they're expecting a tip, bathroom attendants you give tips to, whatever. I didn't know that. Like, this is way I'm a Idaho, Montana college student that has never known this sort of luxury. And so I'm just like, "Thank you," and I leave, and, like, I go back out to where Tyler was on the street. Such a weird experience. It ended up being the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, and there was some sort of, like, gala going on, and they just let me wander in there, and I'm
That's
just
so
like,
funny.
I must have looked homeless or something, like, my hair was windswept, I'm in this too big sweatshirt. I'm really surprised that nobody stopped me and was like, "You can't use the facilities here," you know? But I was like, I made it that far. I just that's one of my favorite stories from that time because it's just the adventures that I always wanted to go on. I got to go on in
Yeah.
college during that time, and I think I rode with Tyler back home. I went with him to get his first tattoo. That was fun. But yeah,
Here's
that was
here's where I thought the story was going. You're like, "I
mhm.
wanted a longboard. We went to Santa Monica. It was dark." I was like, "Oh, no." She went on the pier when it was dark, and she lost her board into the ocean. Like,
Oh,
you slipped, and it went through the cracks. That's what I expected from the story, not that you snuck into
no,
the Ritz-Carlton.
I didn't even have a longboard. I just was like, if anything, I just gotta go to the pier. Like, I just gotta go there, because I grew up, I was like, I'm gonna move to California. I'm gonna listen to punk music and metal music, and I'm gonna ride my longboard on the beach and
And die happy
die happy and be
at a
okay.
Knuckle
And
Puck concert with 500 people.
exactly, exactly. But yeah, and that kind of wraps up college. Really, like, I really lived out my adventures that I had always wanted and always dreamed of. And you guys were so nice to always let me tag along. Like, that really meant a lot to me that you guys kept letting me pal around with you guys.
Well, it meant a lot to me that I mean, like, you came, you helped, you supported. Seriously, if we needed something, you're always down. Like, you're such a good friend. You are a good friend, like a good person. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no problem.
So where has your music journey taken you now?
So, TJ and I got married, and we were going to have a wedding, but he joined the army. So we eloped instead. And what's been cool about that, though, is that wherever we've gone with the military, we've been able to go to shows in really cool places and meet a lot of really cool people. Like, I've seen our friends from the home team that you guys played with. I've seen them 5 or 6 times probably
It's
because
so
I've just
cool.
had the opportunity to see them, and every time they come into town, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, we gotta go." Like, we just saw them, like, a month ago, and they're always so, so much fun, but, yeah, we've seen a lot of different bands in a lot of different venues. We've seen one of my favorite venues, we saw Dance Gavin Dance because 'cause we've seen them a lot, and one of my favorite venues was this place called the Point Vedra Music Hall, and it was right on, um, I think it's Highway A1 maybe in Florida. It's the one that runs right down the coast of Florida,
That's cool.
and it was so cool. It was just like this beautiful classic kind of Spanish style building. We saw the show, and then after the show, like, there was something going on with traffic, and so they had to divert traffic, and we just drove through all of these beautiful, beautiful beach homes, and it
Oh,
was just
cool.
it was such a cool venue. I think the only one that really rivals it for me is the Great Saltaire. I really like the Great Saltaire.
That's such a funny one, but it is so cool.
Yeah, it's right there on the salt flats, and, like, the architecture's really cool, and yeah, those I think those are, like, my 2 favorite venues that I've been to, but and then, like, as far as bands that we've seen, like, it's kind of funny because with TJ's job, it does take a lot out of him, so we don't go as many shows as I would like to go to,
Don't
but I
blame it on
do
the job. Blame it on his age. He's old. He's just an old
that's also
man.
true. He's got a bad knee. He really does, and, it takes it out of you, it really does. Um, but yeah, we one of my favorite shows that we went to was when we lived in Savannah, Georgia, and we were like an hour and a half to Jacksonville. So we'd go to shows in Jacksonville, we'd go to shows in Atlanta. I don't think we never got down to Daytona, but I always wanted to. But anyway, we went to see Bill Murray. And as we know, Bill Murray,
Not the comedian.
not the comedian, Johnny Frank from Attack Attack, which was also another one of my favorite bands in high school. Um, he was playing a show with Bill Murray at this little bar venue in Jacksonville. It's called, I think, like the 1912 or something like that. But, anyways, I got to meet him after the show, and I always joke because um, his last name is, he shares his last name with some of my cousins, and we have some same common ancestry. So I always joke that he's my cousin. And it was really cool. It was really cool to meet him and talk to him briefly and just tell him like, "Hey, your music's great." Because when he first started up that project, it was when we were in college, and TJ and I really liked it and we listened to it a lot. So really cool to see him. Seen him a couple times. I think 2 or 3 times we've seen him, and they're just a riot. They're so much fun. But but yeah,
So with
we
hold on, let me ask you this. With all the places that you've lived, because you got Utah, you said Savannah, Georgia, you said Atlanta you've been to. So where's your favorite music scene, not just the venue?
um the music scene in we lived in Monterey, California,
Uh-huh.
and the music scene in Santa Cruz was really cool because there's like a surfer vibe that's kind of there.
Yeah.
And the skateboarding scene there too, is really big. I actually worked with a PA who was really good friends with a professional skater that gave TJ one of his boards that he had
Right
designed.
on.
Yeah. Jason Jesse, if anybody knows, he's an old skater from Santa Cruz. Um, but yeah, so that was really cool. And we at that time we had gone to see Dance Gavin Dance in their hometown of Sacramento, which
That's
for those
cool.
of you listening who don't know and were as naive as I am, I thought that we lived about an hour, more like 3 hours with traffic from San Francisco, because we lived right in central California in Monterey. On a map, you don't think that that's too far away, that Sacramento is too far away. It is. TJ and I went to go see that show, Dance Gavin Dance. It was actually a free show, and it was like a school night. We both had work, so we had gotten off of work, tried to do the thing that we did in college,
Yeah, that's awesome.
drove all the way up there. It was 5 hours. We just barely made it to
Yeah,
see them and then go back home,
that's
and
crazy.
we died. I was like, "I am never doing this again. I am never doing this again."
But
So
did you
that
get
was
in
the
and out?
last time. I don't think we got anything.
All right.
I think we just I remember whenever I make those sorts of drives now, I have to, like, turn the AC on full blast and, like, sing show tunes or something to keep myself up. Like, something that's just gonna overload my senses so that I can make it. But we don't do that anymore because we're older and wiser, I'd like to think.
So were there any more concerts that you wanted to talk about though before I asked you about music scene?
Um, None particularly come to mind. I mean, I am thinking about we went and saw Law Dispute in Atlanta play their entire Wildfire
That's
album.
awesome.
It was their
That's a band
10
I still have
year
yet to see.
it was their 10-year anniversary of the Wildfire record, which was one that I was in love with in high school. And so seeing that in its entirety live was phenomenal. I loved that. However, I have mixed feelings about that show because as cathartic as it was to sing, we were on the front guardrail, to sing King Park like at the top of my lungs
Uh-huh.
and have that, the fans were insufferable. Like, that's a topic, I guess, for another day, but like, I, in some regards, I think that the younger crowd just doesn't know how to act in certain situations at these types of shows. Like, there were girls that were like, we were right there at the front, and they're like, "Hey, can you not touch me? I don't like being touched." I'm like, "Do you know where you're at? Like, do you know what have you ever listened to this band?
Go to the
Like,
back, Sally.
do you know what's going on?" So when they played their first song, it was like in between sets, in between bands. When they played their first song, everybody around these 2 girls that were just throwing a fit just started shoving them,
Poor girls.
and they got, like, just, like, kinda beat out, like, it's just like, if you can't handle the heat, like, don't be in there. I went to an Asking Alexandria show once, and there was a wall of death that I just happened to be in the middle of, and I'm like, "Okay, I
Yeah,
can't do
I'm here.
anything
Yeah,
about it."
I'm part of
Everything
this
was
now.
fine, and I didn't get hurt, but, like, I don't know, that's just it's changed, and thankfully, that was really the only concert that I've been to in a while where that was the case, where it was just, like, people were kind of disrespectful of others and, like,
Yeah.
just didn't really understand the etiquette of, like, "Hey, if somebody's crowd surfing, like, push them along, like, don't just get mad. Don't bring your" here's a hot take, "Don't bring your beer into the pit." The amount of times that I've gotten beer spilled all over me because you wanna take your beer into the pit, drink that on the side, and then
I've
come to the pit.
I've never seen anybody successfully, especially when it's in a cup, like, whatever you're drinking, it doesn't matter. You try to walk in the pit, bump, bump, bump,
Never,
and
it
then it's all gone.
never
It's like, you
works
just
out.
spent $15 on that drink, and now it's gone.
Yeah, like, just stand on the side, it's not that deep. It's really not that deep.
It's funny. I just picture you and Andrea getting caught in the wall of death together.
Right? That's so funny. I her and I went to the A Day to Remember Papa Roach Falling in Reverse show at the Great
That's
Salt Lake.
sick. That's
That was so
cool.
much fun. We had
Good for
so
you
much fun
guys.
that time. Well, it was like happenstance too. I was like, "Hey, is anybody going to the show?" And Andrew's like, "I am." And I'm like, "Great, let's go together."
The Icy merch girls going together. Love it.
Heck yeah.
So you
So
said
much
that
fun.
the concert you went to was Asking Alexandria?
Asking Alexandria and I See Stars, and I had never really listened to either one of those, but it was just a show, so I went.
I forgot about I See Stars. I saw them once with, I think it was Chunk No Captain Chunk.
Oh, that would have been a fun show.
I think it was them. And then,
Yeah,
so I just want to know,
TJ really liked I See Stars back in the day, so
they're where are they from? I don't remember. Are they from Australia?
I don't I don't
Okay,
know. I
I gotta
don't
look
know a
them up
lot
now
about them.
because I forgot about them. And then you brought up a good point with the whole law dispute thing. Which fan base or which band has the most annoying fan base? That's what I want to know.
I mean, I've only ever experienced that. Like, for the most part, the shows that I go to and the fan bases that I would consider myself being a part of are relatively agreeable.
That's good.
I There are a lot of people out there that don't like Dance Gavin Dance fans because there is a lot of drama that surrounds that band. They
Yeah.
they say that the lead singer position is cursed in that band because they've had so many lead singers.
Huh.
And you know, there's a lot of band drama as there is with any band, I think. But like, I think if you were to ask the average person in the scene, they'd probably say that Dance Gavin Dance fans are pretty dramatic, but I don't consider myself that way. But that's the first thing that comes to my mind is like,
Yeah.
or maybe bands like, I don't know, I don't really keep up with that sort of stuff. I've never really been one to be like, oh, aside from Dance Gavin Dance, I've never really been that person that's like, oh, I'm obsessed with this member of the band and this member did this thing and like all of these people that like this band only like this person and I've never really been involved in those sorts of circles enough to
Gotcha.
have an opinion about like who's the most annoying.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing then if that's your answer.
Yeah.
And
What's
so
your
also
answer?
it seems like what's my answer?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Dance Gavin Dance. Just kidding.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Fair enough.
You and TJ are like the only two fans of that band that I really like that are like big fans. So
Sure.
um it seems like with this time talking with you, like you came in very prepared. Like you've known what you wanted to talk about, like you knew where you wanted this to go, right?
I've
And
always
so
wanted to tell my story.
I also think that have you listened to every episode? It seems like you
I
have
have.
based off a conversation we've had.
I have.
Which one, thank you, I appreciate it.
You're
So
welcome.
two, I think you know where this is going. I have two
Mhm.
questions that I have to ask you. First one is, do you believe in aliens?
You are pulling out questions that you have not asked people. I'm totally prepared because
Yeah,
I've listened to every episode. Do I
yeah.
believe in aliens? Absolutely, I believe in aliens.
When's the last time you saw one?
I don't know if I personally have ever seen aliens, but I can tell you that fun fact about myself, I have an uncle. He's more like a god uncle because he was my grandfather's best friend, who
Okay.
is a Sasquatch hunter. He's a
See,
Bigfoot hunter.
that was question number two. Do you believe in Sasquatch?
I do. I definitely 100% do.
So your god uncle, has he had any success with his hunting excursions?
He's had he actually has a book that he's written, 2 books, I think. And oh, since I mentioned him, I'm gonna have to send you the picture that I have with him.
Okay.
I tell people about him and they're like, there's no way that you have an uncle with an eye patch that hunts Sasquatch.
Does he really have
And
an eye
like
patch?
he really does.
Okay, we need another picture. Thank you.
He yeah, he wrote a book. He's got some sort of physical evidence, but he also like is just he's absolutely insane. I love him so much, but he's
Oh, he sounds
absolutely
normal to me.
insane.
Please tell me his name's Willie. Is his name Willie?
Um, can I not remember his name right now? Oh my gosh.
You're
Uncle
terrible.
Larry. Uncle Larry.
Larry?
Larry
Larry?
Monroe.
Good name. Have you seen the movie Sasquatch Gang?
I don't think I have.
There's some homework for you. Please look up and find the movie The Sasquatch Gang and tell me if this is your uncle that we're
Okay,
talking about. It's
I'll do that.
actually anybody listening, great movie, very funny. Highly recommend it. It's like a Napoleon Dynamite type movie. Napoleon is in there for a quick little scene, but it's Justin Long and the
Okay.
guy that plays Sweet Lou from Grind. He's in there. I know there's some other characters that I should probably be mentioning, but top of my head, that's who I remember. It's hilarious. They're trying to find Sasquatch. Great
Hmm.
movie.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up for sure.
All
That'll be
right,
fun.
now for the two questions. Do I even have to ask it?
Go ahead and ask him.
What is your definition of punk, and what is your definition of emo?
I wrote this down and I am prepared.
You wrote
So
them down.
I really liked what Cassie said in her answer. And it's funny because I listened to Rob's episode today. He also referenced Cassie's episode. So shout out to Cassie.
You know,
But
based off of our conversation we had last week and what we were talking about, I almost said, don't listen to Rob's episode before we record.
yeah. Yeah. No, but it was great. It was great.
Okay.
So my definition of punk, I wrote down punk is rejecting the mainstream because you feel different. And the definition of emo is the feeling of no one understanding you except for the music. So I kind of look at it,
Ooh.
I kind of look at it as like punk music is you're mad about everything that's going on in the world. You have a problem with things that are going on outside of yourself. And emo music is like you have a problem with things about you and things that are happening introspectively. You're
Okay.
more worried about the things that make up you than you are about the world. So I guess I would say that punk music or being punk in general is just worrying and hating on the world outside of you, and emo
Yeah.
is worrying and hating about yourself.
Those are some good definitions. I'm glad I laughed that you had them written down, but I'm glad that you took time to think about it, knowing that that was coming, because that's great answers.
I mean, I could give the surface answer of like punk is kids that like to vandalize and skateboard, and emos are kids that like to wear makeup and cry. That's exactly right. But those of us that identify with these sorts of groups that have been one or both, like, we know, we get it.
In all honesty, those are really good answers. I appreciate you taking the time to put thought into it so you can like really share with us. Thank you.
Yeah,
And of
no
course,
problem.
I appreciate your time that you took to do this with me and that we can catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it again. I've got a
Okay.
whole bunch of stories.
I-
I'll
Is
just
there any,
talk your ear off.
is there anything else that you want to? And actually, there's one thing I need to bring up, but is there anything else you want to talk about?
Are you gonna ask me about pizza?
Pizza? Pizza? We can talk about pizza. What's your favorite kind of pizza?
My favorite kind of pizza is Canadian bacon pizza.
With pineapple.
Now, there's where my hot take is. I don't think that pineapple belongs on hot pizza. But have you ever had cold pizza?
I mean, yes, I'm human.
I think that pineapple belongs on cold pizza because I don't like when the pizza's hot and the pineapple gets all mushy and gross. But then when it's cold, you've got like a nice cold piece of pineapple along with the cold cheese, the cold pizza. Like it just makes sense.
We might need to check you in somewhere. I think there's some stuff going on with you.
What, do you not agree with that?
No, it's fine.
Have you ever had a cold piece of Hawaiian pizza?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Is there any validity to what I'm saying?
I think we need to check you in, is what I'm saying. You need one of
Okay.
those special jackets
In
that
the
you can't
comments,
give.
everybody, in the comments.
Pizza
What
poll. All right, I'll write
what
that
a
down. Pizza
pizza
poll.
poll. Oh,
I
man,
like it.
yes. Make that a thing, please.
Um, when you were a kid, we have a couple year difference, but
Mhm,
I hope this happened to you when you were a kid. Pizza Hut had like a reading thing for during summer. If you
mhm.
read books, you can get free little personal pizzas. Do you
Oh,
remember
yeah,
that?
I do.
Did you
Mhm.
get hot pineapple for reading your books?
No, I'm pretty sure I just got cheese.
Yeah, I don't think they gave you an option. I think it was just, here's your cheese pizza, kid. Good job. You read a book.
Pepperoni, but, like, if the option cheese.
All right, here's the thing that I wanted to talk about.
Mhm.
And it kind of goes along with pizza because it's pop punk.
Yeah.
But you took some stickers with you. Um, you're in San Antonio, right?
Yes, I'm
So
in
you went
San
to a little
Antonio.
coffee shop and you slapped a Friends of Music sticker on the counter of a coffee shop, which this
Well,
place sounds pretty cool. So please tell us about this place that you went to.
so my little shout out to Stranded Coffee Club here in San Antonio. Um, connection I have there is TJ's stepbrother works there, who actually would come to shows with us and support the band. So he's awesome. Shout out Dexter, we love you.
That's so cool. It's like such a small world that you guys ended up
Such
there.
a small world.
Dexter
So
came
crazy.
to a couple high C shows. Like that's so
Mhm.
cool.
But like Stranded, their history, I'll say it real quick, is like they were a band, like a pop punk band. I think they were called Stranded, and
Oh,
they
perfect.
would play shows and hang out together. And then they were like, "Hey, wouldn't it be fun to open a coffee shop?" So they have this coffee shop in San Antonio, and they've got like Warped Tour themed merch. They sometimes do like acoustic shows and stuff there. Like they've got different like music themed drinks and stuff. Like it's just a really cool place that you can go and just kind of hang out with people that like the same music as you do.
That's so cool.
Yeah, I brought Tilly there and everybody just loved him. They're like, "What's his name?" And I'm like, "Tillian." And they're like, "Is that after?" And I'm like, "Absolutely. It definitely is." And they're like, "Well, we like Tillian here, so please bring him back." So yeah, shout out to Stranded Coffee Club in San Antonio. You guys are great.
Well, I can't wait to come visit you guys and then go there and check that place out. Because if they have Warp Tour theme merch, they got pop punk music playing, acoustic shows. I
Mhm.
mean, come on, does it get any better? It
Yeah,
does. They could have pizza. That's it.
they could have pizza.
That, and then it's just complete.
Yeah, but they have
I'm gonna
coffee.
open. I'm gonna open a pizza place next door to them, and then we could be friends.
What are you gonna name it?
Pizza place
Pizza place.
next
Pizza
door.
party.
The pizza place next door to the coffee place
Pop
that's also
pop
next door.
punk pizza party.
Pants party.
Party.
Now we both need to get checked in somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think this is it. Do you have anything else you need to say?
No, I think I've said my piece.
It's time to go tuck Tilly into bed.
Oh, he's been tucked.
I'm just kidding.
He's been tucked, man.
That was just me saying like I have time for me to go to
Yeah,
bed.
yeah, me too. I don't stay up this late anymore.
I'm sure you don't. Thanks for taking the time to do this with us. I really appreciate it. It's good talking to you.
Absolutely. Thanks for
Have a good night,
having me.
Marissa.
You too.